On a lonely stretch of highway outside Austin, the sun was dipping low and turning the sky a dusty orange when Marcus Rivera spotted the stranded SUV. Marcus wasn't supposed to be out that late. He had promised his 8-year-old son, Leo, that they'd finish his science project that evening, a baking soda volcano already threatening to erupt across their tiny apartment kitchen. But a last-minute pickup of brake pads for a customer had kept Marcus at his small auto shop past closing. Being a single dad meant juggling everything: work, homework, groceries, scraped knees, and overdue bills, mostly alone. He almost drove past the vehicle. Almost. The hazard lights blinked weakly. A girl stood near the rear tire, arms wrapped around herself, her long hair whipping in the wind of passing trucks. She couldn't have been more than 16. Marcus pulled over. "Hey," he called gently, keeping his distance so he wouldn't startle her. "You okay?" The girl turned. Her eyes were red. She'd been crying. I don't know how to change it," she admitted, her voice trembling. "My phone died. My mom is going to freak out." Marcus glanced at the tire. Completely flat. "It's all right," he said. "I'm a mechanic. Name's Marcus. Let's get you back on the road." She hesitated only a second before nodding. Her name was Emily. While Marcus worked, he kept the conversation light, asking about school, music, whether she had a spare. She did, thankfully. He noticed the SUV was a brand new luxury model, the kind he only serviced for wealthier clients. But he didn't ask questions. 15 minutes later, the spare was secured. Emily let out a shaky breath. "I don't have cash," she said quickly. "But I can call my mom when my phone charges in the car." Marcus waved her off. "Don't worry about it. Just get home safe." Her eyes widened. "Really? Really?" She stared at him like he'd just done something extraordinary. To Marcus, it was just what decent people did. Before leaving, she asked, "Can I at least get your name?" He smiled. "Marcus Rivera. Rivera Auto Repair. Just outside town." She typed it carefully into her phone once it powered on. "Thank you," she said again, this time steadier. Marcus drove home thinking nothing more of it. Until the call came the next morning. Marcus was elbow deep in an engine when his shop phone rang. "Rivera Auto Repair." A crisp, controlled woman's voice answered. "Is this Marcus Rivera?" "Yes, ma'am. This is Victoria Hale." The name meant nothing to him. But it would. "My daughter Emily told me what you did for her last night." Marcus wiped his hands on a rag. "Oh, she made it home okay." "She did," the woman replied. There was a pause. "You refused payment. It was just a tire." Another pause, longer this time. "Mr. Rivera," she continued, "I am the CEO of Hale Tech Industries." Marcus nearly dropped the phone. Hale Tech wasn't just any company. It was a tech giant headquartered in Dallas, frequently compared in business magazines to companies like Tesla, Inc. for its innovation in clean energy storage. Victoria Hale's name appeared regularly alongside figures like Elon Musk on financial news panels. She was a billionaire. "Oh," Marcus managed. "My daughter was distraught when she called me." "Not because of the tire," Victoria continued. "Because she said you were the first person who stopped. Several cars passed her." Marcus didn't know what to say. "She also said," Victoria added, her tone softening, "that you treated her kindly. Not like she was foolish." "She's a good kid," Marcus replied simply. "Just scared." There was silence, but this time it felt different. "I'd like to come by your shop today," Victoria said. Marcus blinked. "You don't have to do that." "I know." When the black town car pulled up that afternoon, the entire street seemed to notice. Victoria Hale stepped out, poised, sharp, unmistakably powerful. But her eyes were warm when she shook Marcus's hand. "You helped my daughter when she needed it," she said. "I can't ignore that." "It wasn't a big deal," Marcus insisted. "It was to her." She glanced around the modest shop. Aging lifts, worn tools, a flickering fluorescent light. "How long have you been here?" 7 years. Bought it after my wife passed." "I'm sorry." He nodded. Victoria turned back toward him with a look that was all business now. "What would it take to modernize this place?" Marcus laughed lightly. "More than I could ever afford." She didn't smile. "Mr. Rivera," she said, "Hale Tech runs a community reinvestment initiative. We support local businesses, especially those that strengthen communities." He stared at her. "I'd like Rivera Auto Repair to become one of them." Over the next hour, she outlined a proposal. New equipment, updated systems, full renovation, funded through her foundation. In return, Marcus would agree to mentor vocational students part-time, giving teens hands-on training in automotive repair. You already proved you care about young people, she said. Marcus thought of Emily, of Leo, of how hard it had been to keep the shop afloat. Why me? He finally asked. Victoria's answer was simple, because character is rarer than capital. 6 months later, Rivera Auto Repair looked nothing like it once had. New signage, state-of-the-art equipment, a training bay where high school students from across the county learned real-world skills. Business had tripled. Marcus hired 2 additional mechanics, both single parents. And one Saturday afternoon, Emily walked into the shop again. This time, she wasn't crying. She was carrying a thank you card, and a homemade batch of cookies. I start college next fall, she told him proudly. Mechanical engineering. Marcus grinned. Guess I better keep the shop impressive, then. She laughed. As she left, Leo tugged at Marcus's sleeve. Dad, he whispered, staring at the busy garage, you fixed more than a tire, huh? Marcus looked around, at the students learning, the customers chatting, the life humming through the space. Sometimes, he said quietly, you never know what one small stop can start. And somewhere in a glass tower in Dallas, a billionaire CEO smiled, knowing that the best investments aren't always measured in dollars. Sometimes, they're measured in decency. 1500 WAD.